Facebook land.
Hello there, well met.
Well met?
Sorry, I have Hearthstone on the mind.
Oh.
Sorry, little
Is that a
impromptu
keto
plug.
Is that a keto thing?
No, it's not related to keto at all, but, keeps your mind occupied.
Oh.
She's doing that thing, she's scratching at the background. She's making it look all wrinkly.
Yeah, she's totally ruined the illusion that we're in a
white box.
Yeah, in a white box.
In a very extremely white box.
Hey, well, welcome. Thanks for watching. I'm Carol.
I'm Kendall.
We're here, Keto Chat live
We are
every
here
Thursday.
at Keto Chat.
Yeah. Hey, so we're changing up the time. So we're going to be live every week, 4 p.m. Pacific time. You're going to have to do the math. So that's like 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Also Alaska time, it would be 3 p.m. Alaska time. What else do I know?
If you know what time it is right now, that's when it is.
Well, what if they're watching this recorded?
I don't know, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
My time. 4 p.m. my time.
Yeah, so join us every Thursday. So we changed the time up because he's got a new schedule this quarter for school.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. A lot of classes going on. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, so join us every week. We're going to be here live talking about keto, answering your questions, giving you all the latest tips, sharing. Sometimes we do taste tests of food. Sometimes we share some research that's come up.
Sometimes I talk about stuff not related to keto.
Yeah, like
on accident.
Hearthstone. Yeah.
Hearthstone. Yeah.
Hearthstone?
I don't know. I'm not correcting you. I'm giving you a second pronunciation.
An alternate pronunciation.
Alternate pronunciation.
Okay. All right. Well, so how are you doing? We're checking in.
How am I doing? It's been a while since I've been in the bright light. Not only is the light bright today, but it is sunny outside. So
a little bit, yeah. It's stuck out.
everything is just going in my eyeballs right now, and I just can't see anything right now.
We got a sun break here in Seattle. We're supposed to get a huge windstorm tomorrow, like up to 60 miles an hour winds.
Whoa, I don't know what that means, but whatever.
That's like a lot.
I don't know how crazy that is.
That's fast.
Could be crazy, could be not.
I mean, think about in your car.
I'm driving 60 miles an hour, but the wind doesn't have any weight, really, comparatively, so whatever.
Well, we might see some trees blown down, we might see some power outages.
Well, if you say that, we're having a storm, sounds like.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to have a storm here in Seattle.
Well,
so how's the weather where you're at?
Tomorrow's Friday, though, and with my new schedule, I only have 2 hours of class. It's pretty freaking cool. Actually related to keto, because it's food related, so pretty much anything food related is keto related if I have anything to say about it that connects it to keto.
Yeah.
I was in physics today. My teacher, he's a pretty nice guy. He's an interesting person. He brought out some snacks for everyone. He actually brought in some, again, it's not very keto food, but he brought some little mini mandarin oranges and dehydrated, I think it was peaches.
Okay.
Like super full of sugar, obviously, right?
Yeah,
I didn't have any, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Like this guy's doing it because he's being nice, right? He's not like, oh, I'm gonna get you high on sugar or whatever. I'm gonna make you guys eat a bunch of sugar. It's like the whole being nice about it. Like I'm people like oranges are kind of nice and sweet. Yeah. Like I'm gonna put my foot over there.
Well, and they're healthy because it's fruit.
That's
right?
what the guy sitting next to me actually said. He's like, wow, yeah, I'm so happy you brought these in because they're so healthy. And it's like, I think.
Did you say anything, or did you just keep to yourself?
I'm not the kind of guy that wants to preach. I'm not gonna be like, well, actually, no, I'm not like that in public. So I'm pretty
you just sat there and rolled your eyes.
I just sat there and said, I'm good. I don't want one. But I think, I've talked to my girlfriend a lot about this, about the whole getting pressured into eating things or whatever, right? Maybe a lot of people eat for. Because they like the food. But a lot of people eat because they're like, oh, my family wants me to eat this way, or I'm expected to eat this way. It's like when you're in this situation in public, when your teacher's going out of his way to be nice to you, and he's like, hey, have an orange, but it doesn't fit your keto diet. Like, how do you deal with that? And it's it comes down to the whole thinking about this is for you and this isn't for, you're not making this person happy by saying yes. You're making yourself sad, kind of by accepting it and kind of going back on your diet. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of ways that that are struggles for people socially, social challenges with, sticking with keto foods and staying on plan. And for you have a really good, strong sense of self, and so for you,
look at me.
You don't have a tendency to worry about hurting somebody's feelings if you don't eat whatever they put out, if you don't eat the mandarin orange. Whereas some people, they really struggle with that they're so worried that, well, I don't want to hurt Aunt Susie's feelings if I don't eat her cake that she made. And
yeah, she makes it every year. Like, how could I say no? I used to eat it all the time. She'd be so mad. No, in reality, I mean, there are going to be some people that do get offended, but in reality, people
Yeah.
don't get offended. Yeah. It's understandable. Oh, just say I'm good. Don't put it down like I don't want to eat that garbage. That's kind of rude, obviously. But
well, and there are some people. So this came up as a topic actually for some of my clients this week. So we do group coaching each week, and one of them was talking about how she's got to go meet some family, and she knows they're super judgmental, and they always say things of like, well, what are you not eating now?
Oh, yeah. I've heard that.
Yeah, and so then we kind of dug in a little bit deeper, and we realized that her family is going to be judging her no matter what she was doing. So even if she was eating the perfect foods for what they would think, were perfect, they still would have, they still would judge something else, right?
Yeah.
So we moved to the place of like, you got to do what's right for you and what makes you feel good, and you can't change other people's perception. And if people are judgmental, no matter what, they're just going to be judgmental. And so
I think a lot of the time too, especially when it comes to your family and your friends, them being judgmental is not really them being judgmental. I know we like to poke fun at each other and stuff, and it's not actual things like, oh yeah, I hate your top. You look awful in that top. Like I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, because you said that all
exactly. I'm just such a brat when it comes to it. So
well, we have a pretty good relationship. I mean, the fact that we can come back here every week together and sit here for an hour,
and I somehow still get angry.
After we get off here, then we argue and fight.
I'm like, I hate you so much.
You're grounded. He's 21.
I'm 20. I'm 21. So
I don't think you've ever been grounded.
There
was one time World of Warcraft got taken away.
Yeah, but I think it lasted like a day or two. But anyways.
Well, I have a couple things to talk about.
Keto related.
We don't have any food we're tasting, although right now I have like an Instapot, like the Cuisinart brand of that. If you don't know what that is, it's a they're not sponsoring our show, by the way. It is a countertop pressure cooker, and so it's the digital one. You can set the time. So what does a pressure cooker do? If you don't even know what that is, it cooks your food in a sealed pot, and it cooks it at a slightly higher temperature than what boiling is. So it cooks it faster than what you could cook, much faster actually. So I've got this this big pork roast in there, and so normally if I was going to put that in the crock pot, that would do 4 to 6 hours or so is what it would take on that low simmer. In the pressure cooker, the Instapot one that I've got, about an hour and 15 minutes at high pressure, and it's going to be fork tender, and we're going to have pulled pork tacos tonight for dinner. Yeah,
that sounds pretty good to me. I mean, I think we've talked a lot about how addicted to tacos I am. Mexican is in my blood. I got salsa running through here, but
not really, but somehow
it's salsa and mayonnaise mixed together.
Oh,
okay. It's like a swirl. It's like a Tootsie swirl of sauce in my bloodstream. But
well, so I was kind of off track there a little bit. So pressure cooker cooks it faster. It also infuses the flavor because it's a higher pressure than what you can get at regular pressure. And so the flavor gets infused. So it's faster and more flavorful.
I think the most important part about this too, I think it's a big component of your approach to keto is just how easy it is, right?
Yeah,
it's not like it's hard. You just kind of you just throw stuff in there, put your seasonings if you want to. I mean, if you're looking for flavor.
Yeah, probably 2 minutes it took me to put this big pork roast in there, which I got yesterday at Whole Foods, and I put about a cup of broth in the bottom of it, so you could just do water.
Yeah. And
then I had some leftover seasoning blends that were in my cupboard, but if you've got like some Mexican seasoning blend, or you could just do like some chili powder, it would be that simple. So I just put maybe a couple of tablespoons on the top of that, maybe a tablespoon of salt as well. Lock it in place, and I programmed it, and then when we're done here, dinner's going to be ready.
It'll probably be cooked, and if we're too late, then it'll probably still be fine too. It's not going to burn.
Because the nice thing about this is that it automatically comes to the full pressure itself, whereas the regular one I'd had before, you had to watch it the whole time and turn the temperature up and down to keep it perfect, whereas this is all programmed.
You just close your eyes and you let it cook.
Yeah. And then it keeps it warm at the end, so once it's done, it just stays there and stays nice and warm.
It's the cool thing ever. Maybe we'll get some pictures up tonight, maybe not. No promises.
Yeah, well...
We just got this new camera, this new amazing... what's the type of camera it's called?
SLR.
SLR.
I don't know what that stands for. Do you know?
I don't know.
Single lens refractory? No, that's
something
probably
like
wrong.
that. But
That's probably
apparently,
wrong.
it's really good at taking close-up photos,
Right.
specifically food. So maybe
Well,
we'll.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard, I got a book coming out later this year, and right now, if you want to get on the list to get updates, we don't have a release date yet, but if you go to my website ketocarol.com/keto book, you can sign up there and get on the list, and you'll be the first to know when we have a release date, so you can pre-order it. But the whole reason we got the upgraded camera is that my publisher wants some really awesome food photos in there.
Oh,
so
fine. I guess I'll get a new camera.
he's decided he wants to be the new photographer. So
Yeah, I don't really know a lot about photography, I guess is what the science is called. But
I think you'll turn it towards yourself.
we'll turn it, This one, though, I've noticed you can't really go that far out, but that's not a problem. So
Yeah,
make sure
it's-
food is
it's
pretty
meant to be
close
close
up.
up.
I'm not going to be, like, sniping some pictures of food, like, across the hall and, like,
selfie. This type of camera is hard to do.
Almost did a
selfies.
dab, dude.
Huh? A
You-
dab?
You almost did the dab.
Wait, I don't even know what that is. Is that
No,
dance?
no, please. No.
Show us.
No. it's
I'm gonna have a keto dance party.
I'm getting old now, and I don't do
You're
these.
getting old?
I don't do these things anymore. I'm an old man. I don't do these pop culture references that I.
You just did.
No, you did it.
But you called it out.
Just because I know what it is.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So we're not gonna do any taste testing on. Well, I don't know. It smells like it's almost done. Maybe we have to eat some on camera.
We can't just like walk away and like leave these guys. No, we'll get an official taste test going next time.
What if at the very end we just take the video into the kitchen and show them what it looks like in the.
The lighting isn't very good at that, though.
I know.
I don't want to put
We'll
that on
tease
them.
you. Well, so I have a couple of things to talk about too, and post your questions below. So we're going to be answering questions as we go along as well. We've got our handy dandy alternate source of question monitoring going right over there, and so my assistant will be monitoring your questions. Oh, look! I just caught that.
It's paused on the dab too. It's perfect.
Dab.
That's.
I don't know what that is, but
That's what that
apparently some dance move these youngins are doing this day.
All these
Is
chillins.
that something on Snapchat? Do you guys Snapchat that?
It probably is. It's some kid reference. Like the whole I don't know, the duck face, right? People make the duck face.
Oh, that's old.
That's what I'm saying. Is I'm giving you. We'll see. Maybe it's a reference you would know about.
Oh, I see.
Since you don't know what the dab is.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of if there was something when I was your age or younger.
I don't think so because the internet wasn't so prominent. I think a lot of these things come out of the internet. Think of planking, right? You think of like all that kind of stuff. Like
because it can spread quickly. You can see other people doing it, so you got to.
Like you might have something in your high school that's popular, but it's like something that's popular in your high school does not even compare to something that's popular in the United States.
In the internets.
In the internets, right? Because it's just so much more. So.
Well, and now that the privacy's gone, everybody can see it.
Privacy's
right?
been gone for a while.
Oh, okay. Well, so I've been reading a couple of books, and one of them is Rob Wolf. He didn't send me this. I had to go buy it myself. What is that? There's a noise.
It's vibrating.
Did you turn it off the sound?
Yeah, I did. All right, we're good now.
Oh, is it still going?
We're good. Yeah, we're going now.
Oh, did it start over?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It resumed.
Okay. So I saw Rob live and in person at the Nutritional Therapy Association conference down there in Vancouver. It was right before the book came out, and so I got this little handwritten. This is him signing my book and a sticker, and so I got to put that in my book when I got it. And check out his writing. This goes along with reading actually. So how these two books go together. So Wired to Eat. Rob talks about how our brain, we're wired to eat. Okay, so we're wired to, and you always say like, oh, I'm lazy, but it turns out you're just optimal foraging strategy.
We got to go a little bit further back before current history and think about ancient times, right? When the Neanderthals were still there.
Beyond Romans.
Before we had developed societies, right? The goal of humans, the goal of living is just to live. There's no, I want to get a job, I want to go to college, I want to get a life. Maybe the family aspect's in there, but it's all live, don't die. That's what matters.
Yeah, and so, our brain is wired to eat as much calories as possible with as little effort. So we're designed to eat a lot and move as little as possible.
Everything. Eat
right?
everything, variety. I think that was a big component. I went through
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
those talks. As much different things as possible, as much
Yeah,
of it,
that's-
and just
Well, that's right, because last time we were on, we were talking about how we heard him talk, and that was one of the things he was talking about, is that our taste buds are also wired for variety. If we eat one thing too much, our taste buds get tired of that, and we won't eat very much of it. But the more variety that we have to eat, the more we'll eat. And you can even eat way more calories if you do the variety thing.
You know, we were having dinner here the other day. We had some people over, and my mom made some keto dessert.
Yeah.
I forget how it's made, heavy cream and
Yeah, we have
flavoring
an
or
ice
whatever.
cream maker. Just put heavy cream and a little swerve in there and some vanilla.
But
Very
what-
simple.
I remember what you said to us was, you know, everyone's like, "Oh, we're so full, Carol. It's so delicious. Like the chicken we made was really good." And,
Yeah, dinner,
like,
I'm too full, we don't have
we're
room
too
for
full.
dessert."
We don't have room for dessert. And she says, "Oh, you know, you have an extra stomach for dessert, right? You can always eat more dessert after you've eaten your meal." And that has to do, I think, with the with your taste buds. It's a different. It's you're eating something
Yeah.
different. It's like, oh, well, maybe I didn't get that nutrient from this dessert. Obviously, we
Right.
know there's not nutrients in it, but your body might not know that. It's just a different flavor. You know, it's trying to get a little of everything. So.
Yeah, so, knowing that, one thing, and you always say, like, oh, I'm lazy, I just grab whatever's easy.
Mhm.
Well, that's actually how we're wired. Our brains tell us, eat as many calories as possible with little effort. And the problem is that, way back when in Neanderthal times, food was scarce. And so that was a smart strategy to try to eat as much as possible and expend as little...
You didn't have refrigeration. You didn't.
Yeah.
Food just went bad if you didn't eat.
Right. And it didn't make sense to, like, hike 5 miles up to get the honeycomb, when you could just, walk 2 miles and kill the wildebeest. I don't know
The
what
wildebeest.
the wildebeest.
The wildebeest.
So
We're from Washington. We don't know what animals are. We don't. Even though we should. Washington's
deer and
very-
elk and things like that. I don't know.
Killed the
What-
deer and the
what-
elk.
What did
Maybe
they
a
have
bear.
back then? The woolly mammoth? Is that what
The
it was?
woolly mammoth.
Woolly mammoth.
That was a long time ago.
Tyrannosaurus rex?
There you go.
Is that what they ate?
Much better.
Okay. Don't go get the honeycomb. Eat the Tyrannosaurus rex. That'll feed the village.
Only if it's close, obviously.
Right. I mean, they
Yeah,
probably had
I
some kind
would-
of a Tyrannosaurus rex call that they could...
You know, I wonder what kind of meat Tyrannosaurus rexes have. Because I know they're...
Really big steaks.
Well, no, is it steak or is it more chicken? Is it more of a chicken?
Do you
I
think
feel
they're
like-
poultry? Or do you think they're cousins of the poultry
I think
industry?
there were dinosaurs that are bird relatives, you know.
Oh,
So I'm
some
trying-
of them, yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to think, is they have red meat or white meat. It's
I think Tyrannosaurus, well, are they an herbivore or are they a
Carnivore.
carnivore?
carnivore. So it has to do with their diet.
So they would be more like tigers.
Yeah, to be like tight. Well, I don't know. They're not... Maybe.
We actually
Toast-
don't eat carnivores, do we? Unless we eat human. Have you ever had human?
I haven't eaten a carnivore in a while.
Uh,
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Post in the
So
chat
to-
if you know what kind of meat Tyrannosaurus rexes have. And if
What
it's...
they would taste like. Well,
what,
this,
what if it's high sugar, too?
so what about alligator? Alligator is definitely a
Gator.
carnivore.
Gator.
Carnivore.
Eat some gator.
There's some people out there that have had like gator sausage.
Yeah, no. What about snake and stuff? I think snakes
Snakes are carnivores.
are actually really similar to dinosaurs because they're all reptiles. That's,
right. Okay,
that's
so
the family.
snake probably tastes like Tyrannosaurus rex, is
And
what you're saying.
but then iguana and then a gator is reptile too, I think. So if you've had a gator, you probably have T-Rex.
Yeah. I can't remember. There was a place in LA that has a bunch of different exotic meat sausages that they
Mhm.
make. Kuchen something.
Oh, it was that German restaurant
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
went
remember?
to. Yeah, it was I don't know, is
That was
this...
like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. we
I
went.
remember exactly what you're talking about too, but
Yeah.
it was some German word for kitchen or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly what it was called though.
Klausenkuchen. No, it's something else, yeah. Somebody will know from LA. Anyways, we almost tried alligator, but I think they were sold out of it.
I remember something like that. We
Yeah.
were looking for something exotic, but we
Yeah.
just got pork.
So we
I think.
got that close to trying Tyrannosaurus Rex-like meat.
Tyrannosaurus
They were
Rex
out of-
relative.
Yes. If you've had Tyrannosaurus Rex, tell us down below in the comments.
I really do want to know if you've had Tyrannosaurus Rex. I don't think anyone has.
I mean, maybe there was some that was found frozen in an iceberg in
in an iceberg, just
yeah.
right in a lettuce. Now that'd be so cool.
Iceberg lettuce.
That'd be so cool if there was, because I actually think I read something recently about like some meat being, not. I don't think it was an animal. I think it was human that was preserved like thousands of years or
Yeah.
whatever. But that'd be pretty cool. Just get some million-year-old meat.
Well, Jurassic Park. Maybe they're going to make a Jurassic Park kitchen. Like, what are we up to on Jurassic Park? Like 4 or 5 or something?
The 5th one is being filmed.
Okay, so Jurassic Park 6 is going to be about. There's going to be a cooking show where they
Gordon Ramsay.
They resurrect all of the dinosaurs, and then they cook them, and then they make, cooking challenges.
Your Tyrannosaurus Rex is raw. I can see it. I can see it now. Master Chef. What is the prehistoric?
The dinosaur chef.
Dinosaur chef.
Master.
Or you have like a little T-Rex going around.
Oh yeah, that's how you have to cook, is with the simulated short arms. Or maybe you compete against a T-Rex in the cooking competition.
See if you're better than them. Maybe.
Yeah. How did we even get on this subject of? All right, so we're wired to eat, right? Okay, so so part of it is knowing that the food environment that we live in. You can literally have food delivered to your door and never even leave your house. You don't have to exert any energy.
What gets lazier than that? 2 miles or 0 miles?
You could throw it in the not crock pot. You could throw it in the microwave and have it ready in 30 seconds, right?
But wait, Carol, why even that when I could just order pizza?
You can order pizza even faster. Or on your way home from work, you drive through the fast food restaurant, right? Or, if you really want to get fancy, get out of your car and get Starbucks and get a scone or
really
something.
Think about it. So, exchange your idea of knowing that, McDonald's is bad for you with, what if McDonald's was the healthiest place around and you could just drive through and it was cheap? Why would you not do that, right? Like, it seems like the most straightforward thing. Like, it's the quickest, it's the easiest, it's the cheapest. I don't care about health because, my brain doesn't really know the difference most of the time. So, yeah, it makes sense why people would want to do these things. Yeah,
well, and so it's not your fault that those foods are hard to resist. It's not your fault that when
they're supposed to be hard to resist.
Somebody shows up at your house, randomly with a pizza. If your roommates order a pizza, it's going to be really hard to resist that. And so knowing that, that can empower you to set things up so that you can get better results, right? So not having any of those foods in the house that are fast and easy and high calorie and easy for you to overeat, that's one thing that you can do to, minimize the temptation and the cravings for that. Because they are going to be, especially when you're first starting out on keto, it's going to be almost impossible to resist the temptation because your brain is just wired to eat that way. And it also goes along with Stefan's book, the Hungry Brain. He's an obesity researcher. He's a PhD researcher here in the Seattle area at UW. I've always been a really big fan of his work, and he's really influenced a lot of the way that I help my clients in, supporting the brain part of why you overeat, right? Because, keto gets in there and helps your body start burning fat, but if people don't bring in these other strategies to still minimize the things that make them overeat, they can still overeat on a ketogenic diet. And I see that all the time with people really struggling with, I'm doing keto, why is it not working? And I'm drinking tons of fat in my coffee, and I'm eating fat bombs and all this stuff. And
I'm eating all the fat. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah, I mean, and I can't resist nuts and things like that.
And I cheat every weekend on McDonald's.
Yeah. So, having those things and being aware of the things that make your brain overeat in the first place is really important to address if you want to have long-term success. So, for us, it's having nothing else in the house that's,
We don't have potato chips for our guests.
Yeah. But we also are very aware there are some things that are keto legal, but for us having them around, it's really easy to overeat them. So one of those things is some parsnip chips from Trader Joe's. The way the label is, there's about 3 grams of carbs per serving. But, a serving of chips, right, is like barely a handful of them.
It's a mouthful.
A mouthful, one. Right? And so occasionally we get them, but we don't keep them around the house regularly because we each could eat an entire bag of them very easily and then still want more.
In an hour.
Yeah.
Probably. Like the traditional Doritos diet. If you have a bag of Doritos, you're going to eat it all. It's not. Yeah. You can't just have, just one.
I'll weigh out my serving of Doritos and then put the bag away for later.
Yeah, exactly. I'll zip it up and it's just open. Might as well eat them all now. No, if you're having a party or whatever, maybe buy one bag and split it up. Little even shares, but even then I might steal someone's share of parsnip chips.
Yeah, and another one is, nuts and seeds tend to be really easy to overeat as well. Thinking about the way that they're available in nature is they're usually in a really hard shell and there's a lot of work to get to them.
Yeah, crack them open,
Yeah, nuts are really concentrated sources of energy. They're a good source of some nutrients as well, but they're super easy. The way that we buy them, in a 1-pound bag, no shell on them, salted and roasted. who can eat just one handful of nuts? Like, it's really easy to eat a lot of those. And so for us, I keep them in the freezer with a clip on them, and so they're out of sight. And then, when I have some, I'll weigh out a portion of it too. They may not do that so much. But that also, putting food where you can see it is going to make you eat it. One of the things that we like to make occasionally is like cheese crisps. It's grated cheese out over an entire cookie sheet. So you just kind of make a thin layer of it, bake it in the oven until it's crispy. It makes a really great tortilla shell. That's what we did. We made tostadas last night with some carne asada, and we used the cheese. You just break it off. But the thing is that I made 2 trays of it, and one of them sat out on the counter all night. And
wait, I didn't know about this. I didn't have any of that one.
No, today you didn't have any of it?
No.
That's the one that's in there.
You said 2 trays. Where's the other tray?
Well, the one tray is the one we ate last night.
Oh, well, okay then.
Yeah.
That's
and then the second one's been sitting out, and it's really easy every time you walk by just to grab a little bit more. And so that's something, when we make it, we should put it away, or, we don't make it very often.
That's why we don't make a lot of it, yeah. I know when we used to make a lot of homemade pizzas, and they would just be gone in one day, so.
Yeah. Well, we usually do that maybe once a month now.
That's why we do, yeah. That's what we do.
Yeah, so, watch out for those, especially those foods that are like the keto version of your former favorite high-carb foods, because you're really, they're going to not be as overpowering that you want to eat as ton as you ate before, but you're still going to eat a lot more than if you were having more simple meals. And so that's one of the things that I really go for and teach my clients, especially in the beginning, is start out really simple. Make really simple meals. That helps you get to ketosis a lot faster. That's one of the strategies that Rob talks about in his book as well, is that keep things pretty simple.
Just don't overthink it, dude. It's the big thing. You don't have to make these big elaborate meals.
Yeah,
keep it simple.
There's a challenge I've seen for people that identify as a foodie, and I used to think of myself as a foodie before, is that we really, really love food. But it turns out that when your body is in fat storage mode, that's when you really love food. And you think about food all the time, and you can't wait to spend a lot of time eating and cooking and planning food. And when you actually get your body into that mode where it's using its own fat and it isn't starving for energy all the time, then food just becomes the back of the mind thing. It moves into a place of like, it moves into a place of like, well, food is fuel. Like when I'm hungry, I need something to eat. But you aren't constantly obsessed and worried about food. And so for some people, especially that was part of their identity, like I'm a foodie, if you move to a place where you're just not very hungry anymore, you have to actually kind of mourn the loss of that part of your person for some people.
Good riddance.
So for some people that's a challenge to let go of, a part of their identity too. So, so be aware, your brain is wired to eat, and it wants to eat a lot, and it wants to eat as much as possible.
Don't shame yourself. That's really the whole reason behind this. It's like, obviously you can try your hardest to not do these things, and maybe it's going to be more successful for you when you don't eat all the bad food. Yeah. But don't be surprised that people do or that you do. It's not like you're not doing the wrong thing by doing this. You're just listening to your body. It takes a lot of work to change your mind's reason. Yeah. So set your environment up. Don't make it really hard on yourself. Other things I did in the beginning was like avoid the bakery section of the store. That was an area. Don't even walk over there. It's stinky. Yeah. It starts to smell bad after a while. I stopped watching cooking shows. I stopped looking at Pinterest food posts all the day long because it just makes you hungrier. And let's check in and see if we have any questions before I talk about my new reading light. We do have someone that's had alligator when she was... Oh, yeah? Paula says she had it when she was in Texas. Tastes like chicken. Dr. Rentmore. Oh, everything tastes like chicken. I swear I heard somewhere that it did taste like chicken. It really... I feel like meat either tastes gamey, and kind of like cow. Cow's just not gamey, but and then chicken. Red meat tends to be more gamey. Yeah. Where would you put pork on that? Apparently humans taste like pork is what I've heard. That's right, there is pork. Pork is definitely the third option. Huh. Nothing tastes like pig, right? Oh, it tastes like pork. No, it's chicken or steak. But then there's pork that tastes like pork. Nothing tastes like pork. Apparently humans do. Humans taste like pork? Well, I don't know, that's what I've heard. I don't know, that's probably what you've heard, but I'm never going to find out for sure. I don't know if you remember that or not, but yeah. What? You said you didn't remember the last time you ate a human. I don't know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's been a while. Probably a long time. Yeah. So probably. So that's actually Dr. Rentmore that's sharing. She just had alligator. She's our local
She is a local chiropractor here in the Seattle area, and she's been doing keto for over 24 years and doing fantastic. So I always use her as an example when people say, like, well, you can't do keto long term, can you? It's not healthy.
Apparently she can.
Hello, have you seen her? She is the picture of health. So she's doing fantastic because it's totally sustainable.
That is good to hear.
Any
good
other?
Yeah, there's. Let me scroll. Oh, how do I? Oh, yeah, I got it here.
There we go.
I am figuring it out.
Maybe you need to wait. What was this called?
No, do not. Don't you dare. Helen says she's been asked by her family a lot of times when she's going to be done with keto. When are you going to be done with this thing? And she keeps telling them never. So there you get surprised, she says. And I think that's the best way to do it. There's no reason to stop doing keto. You don't just become healthy and then decide, oh, I want to be unhealthy again. Or something. Or I'm happy now and I want to be unhappy now.
Well, there are some diet, if you go to some place and you sign up for their diet program, there's a lot of those out there. And there's, some of them out there that say, we have a keto plan that is, you can do it for a while and lose some weight, but you can't stay on it. It's not sustainable. And it's not because keto isn't sustainable. It's the way that they're having you do it. Typically, these are a low-fat version of keto.
Which isn't keto, really.
Yeah, it's just a protein diet. And, there's so many problems with that, actually. Is when you restrict fat, you're eating at a calorie amount that you're slowing your metabolism down. So low-fat, low-calorie, ketogenic type diets, that slows your metabolism down. So people lose weight, but they can't keep it off, and they always gain it back, because their metabolism slowed down, and then plus the way they're having you eat to these packaged products, you can't do that forever either. You can't eat a low-fat diet forever like that, a no-fat diet like they're doing, because you're missing nutrients. Also, eating a high-protein diet actually prevents the natural cellular turnover in our body that catches early cancerous changes, helps us be nice and young and youthful. Like her, not me. I'm the old. You're the old man? Old man. Well, if you're an old man, this is how you have to wear your hat. No. Not today. Not today. Yeah. So so it's not sustainable, and so those type of diet plans. So people kind of get that mixed up with but what I support people on is what we call a well-formulated ketogenic diet. It's nutritional ketosis, and it's well-formulated so that we're not slowing metabolism down. We can lose weight and actually keep it off. And I'm just looking, the cord is broken there. Great. Don't touch it. Not sustainable, slows metabolism down. We could go on and on. But
I think the funny thing about her family asking her that question is a lot of people look at diets or changing your diet as a way to lose weight, right? I want to lose weight, so I'm gonna assume maybe you've been on this diet for a while and she's lost some weight, maybe 10, 20 pounds, whatever. And her family thinks, oh, you look so fabulous now, so you don't have to eat that way anymore. You've already achieved your goal of losing weight.
Right.
While losing weight might be someone's goal, that's not the end game here. That's not the long-term results from this thing. There's so many more things that are better about your body after you start being on keto for an extended period of time. But it's just, you don't want to lose these things. You don't want these things to go away. You stop eating keto, I don't know. It just you're gonna regret it. More so, you've already lost the weight. That's not the biggest thing though anymore.
And that's what some of these diet programs promote. They tell you, well, just follow this, lose weight, and it resets your metabolism. It resets your pancreas, and then you can just eat regular foods again.
You'll be able to eat the sugar that you want to eat.
And it's such a lie. It is a lie. There's no way of eating that resets your pancreas and makes it so that you can eat whatever you want again. Now, we can get longer term when people follow a ketogenic diet for 18 to 24 months or sometimes longer for some people. That can heal some of the insulin resistance. It can reduce the amount of insulin that their body is releasing. But these packaged food programs that say that they can reset that, the amount of time that you can follow that is not long enough that you're going to get that effect. And also, that never means then that you can just go back to eating whatever in a high carb diet. That's always going to cause damage in your body, and you're going to go right back to where you were. And then if you're following that low fat approach as well, you're going to gain the weight back even faster than you think is possible. And then you're going to find that the same amount of food that you ate before makes you gain even more weight. And so
I thought it was funny. I watched a lot of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And maybe any of you people that watch that show, there's one season where one of the actors decided that he wanted to make his character fat. over the course of like the off season. So it's 3 months later, he gained 50 pounds.
Wow.
And he said his goal was 50 pounds, and he said he gained the 50 pounds a lot quicker than he thought he was going to. And his doctor told him that he could not gain any more weight, similar to, the Super Size Me thing, where he's like, hey, you will just die if you keep eating this way. And this is a man that was, pretty fit, like works out, like decent shape, but if he just ruined his diet, he easily gained, he said he's eating 5,000 calories a day, but easily gained 50 pounds in a couple months. And it's, you'd be surprised how quick you can gain weight just by eating more than you usually eat.
Yeah, especially these highly palatable foods. And there was another great response. One of my clients last year said when people kept asking her, like, well, how long are you going to do this keto thing? The response she gave was, as long as it's serving me. And I love that, right? So it's like, this is all about, letting them know that, like, this makes me feel awesome and I feel really healthy, and don't worry. I'm paying attention to myself, and I'm going to, if this doesn't make me feel great, then, don't worry. I'm not getting sucked into this. So that was really great.
Not some pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Not just getting tricked into a cult over here.
Yeah.
A keto cult. That'd be a good name, though. But, maybe I'll take that.
Yeah? You're going to start a keto cult group?
Start a keto cult.
You're going to have to start...
High fat, low carb.
You have a little pendulum where you hypnotize them. Can you make the video look like this swirly eye thing?
Look like the swirly eye? What do you mean?
Oh, what's that? Hypnotoad.
Hypnotoad, just from Futurama.
Yeah. All right, so let me then talk about... Look and see if there's any more questions. I'm going to talk about my new fancy light bulb I got. So one of the things that also is in Rob's book is he's talking about what's called the photo period. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of the hormones in our body are designed to cycle throughout the day with the sun. And so, for example, our bodies are designed to recognize when the sun comes up and wake up. And then as the sun goes down, our body makes melatonin and other hormones that make us fall asleep.
We can prove this, too. Have you ever gone camping? Do you know how awesome your sleep schedule is right after you go camping?
Yeah, because you can't stay up as late.
You can't stay up late, but you get up at 7 a.m.
Right.
You are awake at 7 a.m. and you feel good because your body has slept all through the night, and it's naturally a gradual wake up from the sun. Yeah. Just think about it.
Yeah, or the chickens, or the roosters.
But I don't want to go camping with chickens, dude. Come on.
So what they found is that all the artificial light that we're exposed to, from just the lights in our home, the lights in here.
You're welcome.
Your phone, looking at your phone, there's light that comes off of that. Your computer, but also your TV.
Street lights, actually.
Yeah, any street lights, yeah. So they all are on more of the blue spectrum light, and that light is the full sunlight light that stimulates your brain to be awake. It suppresses your brain's ability to make melatonin, the core hormone that makes you go to sleep. And so if you think about, the natural day is that the sun sets and a few hours later you would fall asleep if we were cavemen, right?
If a few hours later, right? It'd be half an hour later, right? There's no reason to be awake in the
Well,
nighttime.
there's a lag period, right? So once the sun goes down, then your body starts making melatonin so you can go to sleep. And so many people now have a hard time sleeping at night. They can't fall asleep, or if they do fall asleep, they don't sleep very well. And this is because they've got all the lights on bright in their house. They're either looking at their phone at night, they're watching TV, they're on their computer, and they're getting that blue light stimulation for hours. And then they turn everything off, and there's a lag, right? So it's like everything turns off, then your body needs to make some melatonin, and that can be a lag before you're actually able to go to sleep. So one of the ways that we can simulate this is to block out the blue in the lights that are in our house, on our computers. Some of the phones now have a setting where you can block the blue light. There's also glasses. If you've ever seen Dave Asprey, he wears those a lot, that you can wear those around the house that they block out the blue light, blue blocker glasses. So this is along those lines. So and there's also an app that you can put on your computer. So it's called f.lux. So Lux with the dot in the middle of it, f.lux. That is an app. I have that on my computer so that it is set to cycle with the sun up, sun down. So it's more blue light in the morning, and then as the day progresses and the sun sets, it blocks out the blue light. And so it's more of an amber color on my computer. But reading real books requires a real light to be on. And so as I'm reading this in the evening, I'm sitting there with my light on in my room. And normally I would have the lights out watching my computer with the filter on it, so I wouldn't be getting that exposure. I sleep really well. I fall asleep easily, sleep well.
Well, like a baby.
Yeah. And, but as I've been wanting to read in the evening, it's like, well, I gotta have a light on. All the lights I have are these regular, lights that are in the house. And so I ordered this very special light. It looks very similar to a regular light bulb. It's an LED, but it's going to have that amber hue to it and no blue light to it. And so I just got it today in the mail. And so I'm gonna try that. So I would encourage you as well to, for optimal sleep. So we know, and even in Stefan's book too, he talks about how lack of sleep. So even getting 6 hours of sleep a night has a dramatic rise in cortisol. And cortisol is a hormone that makes us gain more weight in the middle of our body. It makes you hungrier the next day. And I found for my clients that don't get regular good sleep, it also suppresses ketones quite a bit as well. And they really struggle to lose weight. And so doing everything you can to minimize your exposure to blue lights after sunset is going to really go a long way in helping you get optimal sleep. Because not only the amount of hours of sleep, but the depth of that sleep as well. So
you're making me all sleepy.
Yeah.
Talking about sleep so much.
And
I'm tired.
I know you have a lot of bright lights down there, so maybe we can get you some of these. But these...
I don't keep the lights on during the day. During the nighttime.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
The lights are turned off.
All right.
I do have lots of bright lights, but I keep them turned off for the most part. I have my lair, and maybe my eyes are exposed to slightly more light than most people, but...
But now that we talk about sleep, you're...
But now that we talk about sleep, I'm getting sleepy.
I'm going to sleep now.
You want to take it down.
All right, so do we have any other questions? I'm about ready to wrap this up.
We do have another question.
Yeah.
I almost fell asleep, so I don't remember what the question was. So let me read this really quickly.
All right. So I should fill time.
Teresa wants to know what kind of side dishes we have with our meals. What kind of things we use for the side options. She says right here, her husband always says, "What are we going to have with that steak or that hamburger? What are we going to do on the side?" She says she doesn't know. Should it be butter, mayonnaise?
Well,
my answer is yes.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to have a little veg on the side. Above ground veggies are a good choice, and
definitely you might feel a little restricted if you don't have anything on the side, right? I know whenever we make taco salad or burgers, there's lettuce. I mean, we have some lettuce on the side for some nice things, but if you want condiments on your burger, put your mayonnaise and your mustard on there or whatever.
Yeah, we'll probably with our pulled pork tacos we'll likely use a romaine leaf as the shell, like as a taco shell boat, and put the pork on there. Probably put some. We have some cotija cheese that we got, so that's a Mexican really salty white cheese that we'll put on there. Some sour cream, maybe a little salsa, hot sauce for him. He loves the hot sauce. And so, the veg is going to be the lettuce leaf on there.
Yeah.
We could do a little more shredded lettuce on top of there, but that's typically
this kind of. I think this goes a little bit towards the whole water to eat. Talk about the satiety in your taste buds. Is like a lot of the time, say you're eating one thing and you're eating a burger, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of one bite every time you're having a bite of the burger and you finish it, right? That's kind of one taste, I would say, because it's all together. And then having that, baked potato on the side, that's a whole different thing, right? So that gets your mind interested in different flavors and different things. It resets your appetite. So I think that's a habit that a lot of people have. Thinking, my dinner needs to have these 3 different things or whatever to get all your food groups, say.
Yeah.
When in reality, you can have all 3 food groups in the same item and kind of not have to worry about that whole, now I'm hungry for this and now I'm hungry for that. So I just end up overeating. But, I think there's a lot of pretty straightforward keto side dishes. I mean, broccoli.
Yeah, I mean, think of almost every veggie that grows above the ground. We could sit here for the next 20 minutes and list them off. And
mostly comes down to veggies, funny enough. But
broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower, kale, iceberg lettuce, romaine lettuce, butter lettuce.
Any non-veggie side dishes? I mean, if you have your protein as your main part of your dish, I can't really think of any. Yeah,
I mean, typically side dishes is going to be
starchy, right? It would just be
some kind of a veg. I mean, cauliflower ends up being a stand-in because the typical meal formula that chefs are taught, and also is kind of how everybody grows up, is you need a protein, so some kind of meat. You need a starch, which was typically rice or potatoes or bread, and then you need a veggie, and then you need a glass of milk. Mm-hmm. So in keto, we're not having a glass of milk, and we're cutting out the starch, and so then you're getting, you know, protein and veggie, and then you're adding some fat of whatever your choice is on there too. So that ends up kind of being, oh hey, the timer's going off, the pork's ready.
I think that as long as the meal you're making tastes good to you and you're full afterwards, you know, you're not missing anything, right? It doesn't. You're not like, oh, I didn't have a side dish. It kind of sucks. It's like, if you know, if you maybe you, I can't tell if you're the one that feels like you want the side dish or he wants the side dish, but it's like, you know, maybe have a slightly larger main portion of the meal, and it's just kind of, you know.
Well, and there's so many options. So most people's families get stuck with like there's like 10 dishes. So let's just imagine like the regular carbitarians out in the world. They have like 10 dishes that they kind of rotate through, like
lasagna, hamburger helper, burgers, tacos, burritos.
Yeah, and so people think they have a really big variety of foods that they eat, and then they start keto and they're like, there's nothing to eat. There's, you know, there's so many things. Like I'm so bored with the food. But the thing is there's so many different veggies out there, and so many different types of protein sources, and so many different types of fats that we're not used to eating. And then there's all the different ways that you can prepare each of those. And so you really have a limitless number of options. Sometimes you just need to think of a different way of preparing something. You know, for example, if you have broccoli and you always just steam your broccoli and that's the only way you ever eat it, then you think of broccoli as one thing. But have you ever had broccoli that you blast in the oven? So you cut it into florets and then you cook it on broil, and it makes all the little florets on there really crispy. You can toss it in olive oil and bake it.
Sauteed broccoli.
Yeah, you could chop it in really long spears with some of the end on there and put them on the barbecue.
I can hear her salivating right now, thinking about the pork shoulder and the food she's talking about.
Well, and broccoli, you know, you could cook it and puree it and make a soup out of it, right? Like that's just broccoli. I mean, each one of these we could go on, and you end up with like you know, so many different varieties of all the different combinations and the ways you can cook it and different spices that you can never run out of foods to eat and side dishes and things like that.
If you get bored, go to China and go steal some of their food. See what's good over there. There's
chicken. My friend's there. She just had her baby there, and they're eating, you know, chicken feet, and the baby's eating chicken feet.
Yeah, maybe
not the new baby, but her other kid.
Maybe like a challenge for everyone watching is to try to eat some gator.
Yeah.
This year. I'm not going to say this week because that's probably a little difficult for a lot of people. But
only because the T-Rex is not around anymore.
Yeah.
So
go eat some imitation T-Rex.
Yeah.
It probably looks similar, but you know.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Can we double check really quickly before we sign off here? Tonya says cilantro slaw on the pork taco is yummy. We do actually have some of that. What's that? The sauerkraut.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some pickled fermented foods would be good on there as well. Yeah, cilantro would be good. We don't have any on hand, but that would be perfect to put on top of there. Nice little green garnish. Parsley would be really great as well. Now, parsley isn't like necessarily like people think of it as a garnish, but parsley is really good source of vitamin K. And some other nutrients as well, and so add a little parsley here and there, and you're gonna get just
sprinkle it on there.
Little extra green vitamins on there, yeah.
And then if you want mayonnaise to be your side dish, you really can do that, and that's really not gonna
mayonnaise with a little or a lot of hot sauce on top. That's his favorite.
Just take a little cup, put some mayonnaise in it, and then a sliced lime right on there, and that's just that looks good to me. I don't know what more else you want in life.
Yeah. Well. It's been good chatting with you. It's always nice to see you every Thursday.
I saw you yesterday and earlier today.
Hey, so if you're somebody who's struggling with keto, you have been trying it yourself and you can't figure out why it's not working for you, you're not losing weight, your ketones are low, or if you're somebody that really struggles with emotional stress eating, carb cravings, or just cravings in general, and you're just really stuck and you're ready for some expert support. We've got a really comprehensive program. Love to help everybody figure this out. We've got 4 different coaches that help support you in all these different ways. So not only the fastest way to ketosis, but we're going to teach you all of the tricks to minimize and get rid of your cravings and also maximize the fat loss as well. And so the way that you, we screen everybody, not screen them, but we do a phone interview with each person before we invite them into the program, and it's because we hand select the people that come into the program because they can only work with so many people at a time because we do give such comprehensive support. So the way that you get one of those interviews to see, so first of all, we want to see that you're a good fit for the program, but also we want to see if it's a good fit for you as well. if things you're struggling with, your health goals, and your long-term goals, and then the obstacles you have to success as well. We want to make sure that's a good match. And so the way that you do that is you get a phone consult with my enrollment specialist, and they'll spend a whole hour or even more talking with you to really make sure that's a good fit for you. So the way that you can schedule it, I've got it set up on my website. You just fill out there's a questionnaire that you fill out, and then you get scheduled for that appointment. So if you go to my website, ketocarol.com, Keto, Carol is spelled with an E on the end, so CAROLE.com /schedule-now. I know that's long, right? But you can also, the shortcut to that is just go to my website, ketocarol.com. That page is going to take you right there. It's going to tell you all about my story to keto, some of the successes that my clients are having. And if you go all the way to the bottom, then you can see that questionnaire then and get scheduled for a consult. So we'd love to have you see if this is a good fit for you. Because there was so much interest before, there used to be a fee for these consults, but they're absolutely free.
What?
Keto Consult is now, there's no charge for that. So if you've been waiting, go grab, I don't know, we're going to put it somewhere here. So we'll put that link there so you can actually get scheduled for a consult yourself. And just, figure out what it is that you need to do to get the maximum results on your keto diet. So, anything else?
Yeah, next week I hope we get the camera set up to use the new camera. So you guys better come back next week to see me in ultra high definition. Woo. Maybe we'll get makeup on me. I don't know.
Makeup? Oh yeah, you're gonna need makeup if.
Maybe I'll be able to tell though. Yeah. Maybe I just look this good all the time.
Maybe we have to get a desk set up like we're news reporters then.
And Keto chat on Thursdays.
Yeah. Reporting. All right. Well, so my photographer in training is going to be working on some food photos.
Yes, exactly.
So food photos. So challenge for you is to go eat some gator. Yeah. That means we got to find some too.
Yeah. I will. If you can get some, seriously, tag us in the Facebook photo. Upload that on Facebook and tag us because I want to see that. I really wanted to let it
tag Keto Carol. Yeah.
This seems very unrelated to keto, but I want to try Gator now. I want to get it on the list.
Yeah. There's another example of something that's out there that you can eat that you've never tried, and no reason that you have to be bored.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not bored, but I want to try Gator.
All right. Well. Go schedule your consult and see how we can help you out, and try some Gator, and come back next week. Also, thumbs up, give us a heart. That's the way Facebook lets you knows that you like this and you want to see it more. They have filters that they don't show you everything you want to see. So that's how you let Facebook know, and share this as well. So anybody that you think might enjoy this or get something out of it, just go ahead and share this video with them. But thank you for watching. We'll be back here again next week, and that's all for now. We're signing off. Have a good night. Bye. You gonna turn off?
You got it.